Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a really fascinating personal data log, Ong's Week 26 Mid-Year Review. If you've ever wondered how meticulously auditing your daily life from the exact hours you sleep to the code you write, right down to the plants you grow, can lead to incredible incremental improvements, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to unpack this personal audit together to see how tracking the micro details actually fuels macro success.
Here's how we're going to break this down today. First, the proactive life review, followed by auditing health and wellness. Then we'll look at cultivating projects and hobbies, and finally some incremental tweaks moving forward. Let's get right into it.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the proactive life review. This is really about setting the baseline philosophy.
Right off the bat, Ng's core philosophy shines through here. Tracking your physical health isn't just about, fitness or looking good on paper. It's literally the required fuel for everything else you want to achieve. If that physical foundation cracks, well, all those professional and personal goals built on top of it start to sway, and they can eventually crumble. Let's look at how that foundation actually held up under the microscope of Week 26. Which brings us to Section 2, auditing health and wellness. Let's zoom in on the actual data.
There is this wild tension between these two metrics. On one hand, we're looking at a drop in sleep, falling from 6.9 down to 6.1 hours on average, meaning a lot of fragmented rest. But check out the movement. Despite dealing with relapsed knee and back injuries, the step count stayed stubbornly high. We're talking an average of over 5,700 steps and hitting over 10,000 on one specific travel day. It really shows a massive conscious push to just keep moving, because sitting around too long would actually stall the injury recovery.
So why the drop in sleep? Well, these aren't just cold, hard stats. They're incredibly relatable human disruptions. It wasn't just physical pain from a bad knee. It was late dinners. It was fast food. It was skipping regular sleep supplements. And, probably the most relatable one for the builders out there, getting totally absorbed in weekend coding projects. This right here is why auditing is so powerful. It shows you exactly how a late-night burst of creativity directly messes with your physical rest.
The absolute crucial takeaway here is this direct, observed correlation. Hitting that magic 7 to 8 hour sleep target, the physical payoff was immediate. There was little to no tingling, discomfort, or muscle spasms in the knee and back. It proves that, sure, heat pads and patches are great, but sleep is the ultimate biological repair mechanism.
Moving over to diet, the audit shows a slight weight increase of 0.38 kilograms, going from 69.72 to 70.10. But again, the beauty of this audit is it doesn't just log the number, it diagnoses the cause. This tiny bump was largely driven by overly big meals late in the evening, specifically around 9 p.m., plus sugary drinks, fast food, and just the general chaos of eating while traveling.
And that leads us right into nutritional strategy. Ng aims for this very specific 2-to-1-to-1 ratio, 50% plants, 25% protein, 25% carbs. Now at home, cooking soft-boiled eggs, cooked salads, or miso noodle soup, this is totally manageable. But this audit's honest reflection shows that travel, especially on an empty stomach, often flip that ideal into a 1-to-2-to-2 reality. Trying to find healthy food on the road is just a universal struggle, isn't it? Tracking it is what keeps you honest.
All right, on to Section 3, cultivating projects and hobbies. This is where we see that physical foundation pay off in creative fulfillment. As AI takes over a lot of basic coding tasks, there's this growing tension in the dev space. Nga makes a really provocative prediction here. GitHub runs a very real risk of becoming a massive dumping ground for AI-generated throwaway projects. It's a fascinating and maybe a little worrying observation about the shifting landscape of human craft versus artificial generation.
But in total defiance of that potential AI dumping ground, Ng's week is just packed with active manual contributions to some pretty complex languages. We're talking Go, Python, Elixir, Erlang, Rust, and Haskell. The real standout is a pet project in Haskell tackling CJK, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean text normalization. This isn't just about squashing bugs, it's about resolving long-standing technical curiosities Ng's had for years. It's purely about the joy of manual problem solving.
And this fierce commitment to human craft extends right into writing too. Even while churning out 3 posts a day, Ng strictly limits AI to a basic proofreading role. Sure, let it check grammar and spelling, but a hard boundary is drawn to protect that unique personal writing voice. It's all about using the tool and definitely not letting the tool replace the creator.
I just absolutely love the balance here. Look at all these contrasting environments competing for attention. One minute you're navigating high-level digital code on a screen, and the next, you're literally building outdoor EPS foam microclimate ponds for fish. You've got home improvement tasks like decluttering and balcony grout competing with heavy downpours that delay your gardening. Oh, and photography. Testing out a mirrorless camera but rejecting it purely because of poor physical ergonomics. It is a fantastic reminder that a rich life happens both in the digital cloud and, well, in the literal dirt of your backyard. Let's move into our final section, Section 4, incremental tweaks moving forward. Because an audit is only useful if you actually act on it.
Notice how these moving forward steps aren't just vague, feel-good wishes. They directly tackle the exact hurdles we saw earlier. Sleep disrupted by late meals? Boom. Step 1. Adjust physical activities for the circadian rhythm and time those dinners. Knee acting up? Step 2. Buy some exercise equipment and revisit low-impact swimming. Diet slipped while traveling? Step 3. Stick to that 2-to-1-to-1 ratio and eat home-cooked food. Gardening got rained out? Step 4. Resume indoor seed germination and set up the plant rack. It brilliantly turns raw reflection into an immediate, actionable game plan.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. You absolutely do not need to be perfect to make progress. You just need to be observant. Look closely at the data of your own life. Where are your late-night projects disrupting your rest? Where's your diet ratio slipping? What small, incremental tweaks could you make to your lifestyle this week based on your own data? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep tweaking.